Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to do a very quick video for you guys, and I'm going to talk about two things that are really exciting in the stock market right now. One about a stock that I own, and one about just this general stock market, what's kind of going on at the moment that you might have missed. I was actually going to do a boohoo video today, but I've not had enough time to sit down and get all the information together for you guys. So I was going to do that. I'll probably do that tomorrow now, just so I could get everything together. It's stock that I've not talked about for a while, and obviously they brought out a trading update as well last week, and I thought, you know what, let's talk about it. We've not talked about it for a while, so we'll get on to that one in a little bit. So getting on to the two exciting pieces of news that have come out recently. First one is a market overall thing, which is trueflation. So trueflation is a better reflection on what inflation at the moment is. There was so many shun words there, it threw me out for a second. Trueflation is a better indicator of where inflation is at the moment. And for example, it's more of an up-to-date as well, real-time, what's kind of going on. And through the month of April, you could see here trueflation did start rising. A lot of that was to do with the oil prices. And that was the indication that the inflation was going to come in a little bit higher than what it did previously. And you can see here, for example, the rate that inflation came down was a lot lower than what it has been previously. We knew that was going to be the case. Now, if you actually look at true inflation at the moment, the inflation rate has rapidly dropped. So we were around about the 4% mark. And you can see here in the last if we zoom in a little bit more, especially when we've entered May, look around the 10th of May, true inflation has dropped massively. We're around about 3% at the moment. So we're very close at the moment, hitting the 2% rate. So the inflation data the government use is a little bit more lagging than true inflation, and you can see here that for example, and you can see at the moment that the consensus, there's not actually consensus from analysts, but trading economics are currently expecting a 4.7% drop from the 4.9% drop. Now looking at true inflation and how rapidly this is coming down at the moment, we are very close to hitting the 2% range. And I also think that potentially we're seeing the wrong guidance given here at 4.7%. I think that once we get a bit more to the end of the month and this gets updated a little bit, I actually think we could see us dropping a bit more to the 4.6, 4.5, and obviously we'll be very close to pushing the 3% range already, which would be very good. But the big thing is when you look at true inflation, which is more up to date, the fact that we are so close now to hitting the 2% range is very, very good. So inflation is still rapidly coming down, and it looks like the slower indication of these numbers will see a massive drop as well in this month. So this is really good for the stock market, and I think more than anything we're all looking at the Fed now going, true inflation is going to be entering the 2% range. This inflation data is going to be obviously more lagging, and when you consider that we're probably going to be in the mid 4% range, it'd be absolutely crazy to see us put another interest rate hike up in June, but we'll see what happens. The Fed can always, it wouldn't surprise me if they were to do that. I don't think they should have done the hike up in the last month, but it'd be even more crazy to see them hiking up considering where inflation is at and has been coming down. So positive move there for the stock market. See inflation data, or true inflation data, very close to the 2% range. Second bit of news, a stock making mega moves. The king, DraftKings, currently up today 8.5%. And it's crazy, to see DraftKings up 8.5% today. When you consider that's a really big move, and you're seeing the day when they're bringing out like earnings and the stock was kind of up the same sort of levels like that, and you're thinking today's a big move when you look at it was the same level when they brought out the last earnings, and the last earnings were absolutely stellar. So yeah, it's crazy to see that moving up that much. And overall, year to date, the stock is up 135% year to date, which is absolutely crazy. Really, really good performer. And I tell you, anyone that was buying at the $11, anyone get the 52 close with $10, anyone that is at these sort of levels, I am so jealous of you guys for getting those sort of levels and having your position. I never thought this would go down to $11, and it did. And obviously, absolutely crazy, and it's gone up since that time frame. And someone like myself that was buying the stock, and I was just averaging down. I was like, if you want to go cheaper, if you want to go 15, if you want to go 10, if you want to go $5, I'll buy it, because it's one of those cases where you're staring at the financials and the fundamentals and seeing them massively improve, and you've seen the share price go down. It just didn't make sense. And there was a lot of, this was a stock that I took major amounts of stick on in 2022. There was a few bunch of stocks that I went, right, we're in a bear market crash. I'm just going to prioritize the best companies that are ridiculously undervalued at the moment. And the King was that. And obviously now, obviously it's doing really well, but I won't remember, the amount of times that in 2022, the amount of people that were saying, like, oh, it's a dead stock, oh, it's going down to $1. When it was at $10, people saying, oh, it's a trash company, it's a trash company. And it's like, nope, you're just getting a golden opportunity. You're getting golden opportunities right now. Focus on the opportunities. And there we go. I'll never forget 2022 and some of the stuff that was said, and a little bit of disrespect going on there. But hey, now that we're kind of moving out of the bear market, we'll see who has done well to capitalise on the bear market. And so DraftKings is absolutely flying. Now, the reason why it's absolutely flying is on this news. So the news is that UBS. Yeah, UBS. I thought it was UBS. I guessed before actually double checking there. It gains after UBS says the share price rally has plenty of legs, and it said here that investors may wonder if the stock is expensive given that DKNG is now up 112% year to date. It's even more now after you said this. UBS is now up 134% year to date. But we believe further upside is possible given the fast ramp in new states, noted analyst Robin Farley. Looking ahead, UBS forecasts 20% CAGR revenue growth. That is still very low in my opinion. They'll be very much outperforming 20% CAGR for the 23 to 26. I would be saying that you're probably looking at at least put 30% in. I'd say you're at least looking at 30%. You only have to look at the existing states that they've got, they've had operating for like the last, 5-6 years. They're still growing above 30%. So with the new states coming online, they're easily going to achieve that. That's a given. Driven by a higher structure hold and a growth within the existing user usage. Do you remember the time when the people said that DraftKings are struggling to get users? Yeah. On the platform edition, DKNG is seeing improving gross margins. Yep, they always said they were going to do this. As high as 40%. Yep, that's very true. In fact, they're actually achieving 40% in some quarters already. Off some leveraging benefits and cost rationalizations. They said that the new price target was $30, representing more than 20% upside. So, it's fair enough. I think this is still, still a bit of low bowling going on here, and some of these expectations. I think people are still, very slow to realise what DraftKings is doing, and it just makes you kind of, think back to the point, like, UBS here, they're upgrading the price target to $30 after it's already been on a crazy run, and it's like, where were you all? It's all right jumping on the scene now when the stock's up 134% year to date and saying, oh, it's only going to go higher from here, but realistically, like, where were you all? Like, I remember when this stock was in $10 and analysts were just like hating on the company, like, oh, it's very much, following where the stock price is going, like, chasing the stock prices. Where were you all at $10? Where were you all saying that this is absolutely ridiculous? There was a few people out there, but we were the minority. We were the ones that took a bashing. It's crazy how people chase stock prices. All of a sudden, like, the stock is up 134%, and it's like the company hasn't changed anything that dramatically from where it was $11. There's nothing dramatically changed with the business that much. If you were studying the company, there's not really been that much of a surprise financials recently in the last, from that time frame. They've had probably 2 trading updates or 2 quarters of earnings. There's no really big shockers in there. So it's just crazy, like, all of a sudden, no one wants to be there saying the stock is a buy when it's down in the dumps. But then when the stock is up 134%, they all come out of the woodwork saying, oh yeah, it's a brilliant stock, it's going up, it's going to $30. It makes you laugh. It makes you laugh how many people just chase the stock prices rather than the actual people that are out there making the calls, making the big calls of it. Who are the ones that were at $10 saying, this is ridiculous valuation. So it just shows you. It's a funny game, this. It's a funny game. And after you've been in the game for a while, you see this happen quite a bit, which is worth talking about anyway. So anyway, those are 2 just little mini stories I wanted to talk about today and share them with you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video and hope there was some useful information in there. And if you could, special like button if you're new around here, subscribe. Catch you in a bit.